So you got the idea? Yeah. Thank you. Let's go ahead. Works contract was not always taxable. Prior to 2000, you had lot of cases which said that since there is no sale, there is no transfer of property. When you put up a building, there is no transfer of property, there is no liability. This is what was told by the courts. Supreme Court included, Gannon, Dunkerley and so many other decisions were there. Subsequent to that, there was a amendment to the constitution which said even goods which are involved in a works contract can be taxed. This was what was said. States took 4-5 years to implement. As I said, in Bhubaneswar, they have started implementing now, after some 20 years or 25 years. 20 years, or not 20, 15 years. As far as service tax is concerned, there was an entry called Construction of Commercial Complex in 2004. And then they added residential complex in 2005. There were a lot of issues on that. People said, this is again not a service. It's a composite contract and there is no specific breakup available in the law. Just like people argued in the past on works contract under VAT, same arguments were put forward in service tax and 95% of the builders were not paying tax. People like us also said we can challenge this. And therefore most of the people were not paying the tax. Then Chidambaram came up with a very bright idea. He said, let us try to get them in, then we will see what to do. So he bought a new entry called works contract and said, you need to pay only 2% on that part of the works contract. So if you look at a building, it will have two parts. One will be the cost of land and one will be the cost of construction. In the cost of construction, 2%. So finally, if you work it out, 1.5%. Builders thought 1.5%, ठीक है यार, चलो घुस जाते हैं. So they all came in. Within 8 months, he made it 4%. This is like fishing. First catch the fish, then you can cut it up and eat it. So that's the way he did for them also. So works contract came into being in 2007, and after that, it is there to stay. There have been many people who have challenged this. Everybody has lost, and recently, I think 2014, 2013, Larsen and Toubro decision was there, where very clearly they said, whatever the type of agreement you want to have, it is a works contract. You have a single agreement, you have 2 agreements, you have 3 agreements, whatever agreement you have, in a building contract, there is a works contract. This was settled. Larsen and Toubro also said one thing very interesting. How many of you have purchased flat recently? In the last 1 year? No. How many of you are planning to purchase a flat in the next 1 or 2 years? Yeah, okay. For you people who are interested in purchasing, I am going to give you some value addition. And whatever you save, 10% you should give to CA Benevolent Fund. I am rich enough, I don't require the money. So what is that value addition? In L&T they said, as on the date when the buyer comes to the contractor or the developer, on that day, the extent of construction which is over on that VAT need not be paid. That means, building is already up. They are saying 90% has been sold, only few flats left. What is the truth? The truth is everything is available. Correct? You go and say, he says flat on first floor is available. You say, no, I want second floor. Sir, वो कुछ booking का कुछ problem है, मैं दिला दूँगा. Actually, nobody was booked. Correct? Only sales strategy, that everything is so. So when you do that, they will not talk much about VAT and service tax. In the end, they will say VAT and service tax extra 9%. It will be there in the agreement. Small print in that 50 pages. Who is going to read all that? So there they say VAT and service tax, and 4% VAT he will collect, 5% service tax he will collect, 9% he will collect. Now I am saying that if you have gone to the flat when it is 75% complete and you have an agreement which says, say it is 10,000 rupees per square feet. I don't know if here also 10,000 and all runs? Runs?
Yes.
Okay. Huh?
5,500.
Okay, 10,000 I will take for my example, you can divide it by 2. So 10,000, 7,500, 7,000, 10,000. In this 10,000, For again sake of clarity, I'll keep 50% towards land, 50% towards construction. Construction can never be 5,000 unless you're building Taj Mahal. 5,000 is quite big. So let us assume 50-50 it is at the time when you go. At the time when you go, 75% is complete. That means out of 5,000, 7,500 is already complete. 3,750 out of the 5,000 is already complete. As per L&T, that's also immovable property, not liable for VAT. If that is not liable for VAT, what is the balance left? 1,250 is liable for VAT. If 1,250 is liable for VAT and the rest is immovable property, under service tax what will be liable? Again it will be 1,250. So are you catching? Instead of paying 9% on 5,000, you should be paying 9% only on, 9% only on 1,250. So how much is the saving, sir, per square feet? How much is it? 9% difference, how much it comes? 3,750 into 9%, that is 300 rupees. 300 rupees into, as per his thing, 2,500 for construction. How much is that? Around 70 lakhs? 70 lakhs per 12%. 7 lakhs, sir, benevolent fund. You give 50%, 3 lakh chalega. So this is the importance of the L&T judgment. You know how important L&T judgment is when we tell clients. Many of the builders will not tell you this, obviously, because they will collect over 9% from you. What they pay to the government, God only knows. Some of them don't pay at all. Some of them take L&T advantage also and pay. You have to be very careful when you read your agreement. Any builder who says service tax and VAT inclusive is taking L&T benefit. Another clue. In your agreement, if it says service tax and VAT is inclusive, that means he is 100% taking benefit under L&T. So he is collecting from you 500 rupees or 600 rupees for VAT and service tax, but he is paying only 1/4 of it in this case. So what happens under works contract? What happened after this? In July 2012, we had a paradigm shift in service tax. We had earlier what could be called a positive list, it became a negative list in 2012. Governments were not happy with the amount of service tax they were collecting. They also felt that it's an area where they can collect much more, and therefore service tax was put on almost everything except whatever was there in the negative list and whatever was exempted. And in that they mentioned that service portion of works contract will be liable. They were very clear. One of the declared services was service portion of works contract. There was also one more entry which said for incomplete buildings, to the extent, as long as the building is incomplete, we can collect the tax. This enablement was done in the declared services. So this entry is very important for our further discussion. As far as the BSNL point which I have put here, it is to, there was earlier a thought process of whether a works contract is bifurcatable. When you have one contract, you have a single contract for land, building, everything, can you bifurcate it at all, was the question. This was agitated many times, and SSEs were also having some favorable decisions, some were against. Finally, in BSNL decision, they said very clearly that in a works contract, item can be bifurcated. Though you have a single contract, it can be bifurcated, and almost all states followed by giving system by which you can bifurcate it. Like in your state, they said 25% can be deducted, on 75% you pay. This way the decisions were given in almost, this way the provisions were enabled in every state. And therefore the balance of it, whatever you don't pay as VAT, balance could be taxable. But is it correct? We'll get into the valuation little later. There are some complications there also. But we are not going to take that immediately. We'll take it up as we go along. Next important aspect is, what is a service? Can I get excluded under any of these clauses of the definition of service? First of all, service means any activity. Service doesn't mean service, it means activity. Today you are sitting quietly, not hurling stones at me, activity. If I am paying you 100 rupees, then liable for service tax. just for you to sit here and not abuse me, not stone me. You are breathing. Government of India may say, West Bengal may we have provided you sea breeze, very good, not like Bangalore, full pollution. Therefore, I am going to charge you 100 rupees per month, clean air tax. On that tax, service tax will come, because an activity for a consideration. Why I am telling you this is that anything can be taxed because an activity, unless it is excluded. So let us look at the exclusion. By a person for another. Now by a person for another, normally transactions are like that. What about a resident welfare association? What is a resident? How many of you stay in flats? Oh, quite a lot. How many of you are having some position? Secretary, treasurer. Any of you? Lord. How is the experience, sir?
Very good.
This is forced on you. Nobody wants to become any part of this resident welfare association because that fellow thinks you are a servant. Every other resident thinks you are a servant. You don't get even 1 rupee. Wherever you go, you can't ask reimbursement. Everything is free. So where is the service from one person to another? So I am asking you, why are resident welfare association paying service tax? We have told all our association not to pay. But there will be one old man there who says, no. Is there 100% guarantee? Department will not demand. Who will pay interest and penalty tomorrow? So many associations decide, even though you are a chartered account and you know it's not payable, you will tell, humko nahi malum sir, aap jo bologe wahi karenge. Even though you know it's not payable, you will pay it. But is there requirement? Look at the definition. Carried out by a person for another. There are 2 high courts, why 2? 3 high court decisions are there on this, saying that between a resident and between an association and members there is no space. It's the same, one and the same. Therefore, why are they paying? So, in my view, no resident welfare association need to pay. However, if you want to plan, you can do some other things to avoid. Even if there is a demand, you can avoid it under reimbursement, which is not my topic today, so I am not going to take it. And includes a declared service. I told you declared service 2 are there, but shall not include an activity constituting merely. What is the meaning of merely as understood by you? What do you understand by merely?
Money means
Merely, not money. Merely, which constitutes merely. What does merely mean?
Just that. Just because of that.
Pardon?
Just because of it.
Just because of it, only. Good news. Normally when you get a slip, it says, please end. Here it says, please extend. I have no problem. I can keep extending. Whenever you come on institute platform, first you will have the inauguration 1 hour. You all will not come at that time also. 1 hour is there, you come late 1 hour. But I have to be there sitting on the stage. Then my time will get cut. Here today we have everything opposite. We started more or less in time. I am getting more time at every stage.
Excuse me.
So merely means yes.
Sir, actually I am talking about the earlier example which you just gave about the immovable property.
I can't hear you.
Sir, in the earlier example which you gave about the immovable property, sir, where VAT and service tax both were there.
VAT and service tax.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, L&T. I will come to it in the end again. Maybe you will understand it because there are some other. I just jumped the gun because it is such a valuable advice. But I have got it in my last slide also.
So actually on immovable property we do not have VAT over here in West Bengal. So I was getting a...
No, it is not there in any part of India. On immovable property portion there is no VAT. But while you are doing the construction, people will come and book your flat, right? For that do you have to pay VAT or not? You have to pay VAT for that.
Builders are just.
Pardon?
Yes, it's payable.
WCT is there.
Yeah, WCT you have to pay. Once you pay, WCT is what? VAT only. It's a variation.
They don't charge separately. It is all inclusive.
All inclusive they use. So then at the time when you go for a flat, when you go to purchase the flat, you have to tell him what is the breakup. He will say VAT or service tax 9%. You tell him 9% nahi hai sir, 1.5% hai.
It is not available. That breakup is The trend here is they don't give.
No, if they don't have, then you advise your builder not to pay extra. If you have builder clients. If you have a client who is booking a flat, you should look at this. If you don't have a client who is booking a flat, you have a builder itself, you tell him, why are you paying extra to government? They are not going to give you a medal. Correct? If you pay extra to government, will they give you a medal? They don't. So I will anyway explain L&T again. In fact, in my slide, the last slide has L&T. So here what I am trying to say is, wherever an activity is merely amounting to a transfer of title in goods, if it is a mere transfer of title in goods, then there is no liability. So if you are got, I will stop here. There is the second part also is there. First part, say I am a builder or I am a contractor. Let's not take builder. I am a contractor who is able to keep proper accounts. Today's competitive world, sometimes contracts are, the material cost in a contract could be 70, 80, 85%. If I am laying these tiles, which your foot is on, the contract could be 90% could be material, 10% only is the point of labor, because I put sand or sand mixed with a few resins and then I just place the tile and that's the end of my work. So in such cases 90% is material. So what does this definition say? Definition says an activity which constitutes merely a transfer of title in goods will not be a part of service. It says it's not service. So can I take a view that if I am going on actual basis, I will pay VAT on 90% and I will pay service tax only on 10%, the balance, if I am doing on actual basis. So this is the first value add which you can get from this definition. Many of our large contractors, I tell them contract to contract, please keep separate accounts so that you can effectively pay, on the whole you pay less tax. And that comes from this first definition, first part of the definition. Second part of the definition, more interesting for us, that service tax, an activity which constitutes merely a transfer of title in immovable property by way of sale, by way of gift or any other manner. Of course this by way of sale, gift or any manner applies to even the goods. So it also talks of any manner. So now I want to ask you, how is this transaction taken? Sir here has a property in Calcutta which is 1 acre. I am a builder. Now today he offers me this property. He says, sir, you are a builder, you are a well-known builder, I am giving it to you. And we come to a agreement which says that 40% of the property which I build, I can sell, 60% will go to sir. Okay, this is the agreement we have had. Now my question to you is, he has given me land and I am giving him constructed property. I am going to give him constructed property. Is this excluded here?
Yes. Yes.
How many feel yes? Sir, you are in minority. One more person has joined. How many feel no? Again, you are, I think, same number of people. 3:3. Among any of you who lifted the hand for either of them, why? Why do you think so?
This will also be taken as a consideration.
Pardon?
This will also be taken as a consideration because when you are giving a portion of the land
Yeah.
as a consideration to get the constructed portions from him, so it
Yes.
is a consideration.
The consideration is the
So you are saying it is a consideration. I am not talking about consideration. I want to know whether it is merely a transfer of title in goods, in property.
Yes.
In this particular sense, I don't want to go to the first part of the definition. I am only talking on this. Merely a transfer of title in immovable property. Is it that? Yes or no?
No.
No. Why no?
I am building for myself. I am getting back the 60% that is constructed for my own use. What I do it at a later stage, that is immaterial. But at that point of construction, it's only for myself.
So you are again going to the first part of that. services from one to another. You are saying I am not different. I am the builder. You are the landowner. Am I and you not different? I am the builder, right? Now the taxation which we are examining is on you. You got the land. Sir had the land. When he is given this 10 acres to me, is he liable to pay service tax? Is he falling under this definition? Is this exclusion or not is my question.
No, he is not following the exclusion.
Why?
He has to pay tax.
He has to pay tax.
Yeah.
But just now you said no. For anything you have to give me justification. I am agreeable to say yes or no, but you have to tell me why.
He has to pay tax because of the reason just told, that he is giving his land
Yeah.
and he is going to take the construction service from it.
Okay.
It is not a transfer of land.
Pardon?
It is not a transfer of land. It is a service.
He is saying that it is not a transfer of land itself. I think I will go with sir's. First of all, he is much elder to me. Second, the law is in his favor. It says merely transfer of title in immovable property. What is transfer of title in immovable property has been defined. There are hundreds of cases. Supreme Court says only a registered deed is a transfer of title. Here is not transferring the title to me. I am only building, having a limited right to put up a building. And then of course share of the building sir will get 60%. And therefore it will not be excluded in my view. Landlord, when he gives land on joint development, he may have to pay service tax. May have to pay. Again I am told may. I have not said has to because it's not 100% sure. So first,
But
yes.
that percentage of the builder's share, on that undivided land or whatever, so that he will be having the ownership subsequent.
I will have that 40% I told
Yes.
I will keep, and for 60% building I will give back to him. My question is, when he is giving the land to me, does he have to pay service tax? That's all.
No, not at that point.
But all of them are saying you have to pay.
Not at that.
You look at the definition. Don't assume what you think is correct. This is a law. A law has to be interpreted the way it is, along with other things which you can add. So though I cannot give you 100% answer, guarantee answer for this, I would go that it is not mere transfer of title, and that therefore as per this definition, landlord giving land to a builder for a certain specified percentage is liable to service tax because it is not excluded in the definition. Incidentally, there is no negative list for this also, and there is no exemption for this also. That I can tell you. In the negative list there is no entry for it, exemption there is no exemption for it.
So in Circular 152 of 2011, this thing is covered.
Circulars, okay, he talks about circular. Let me also tell you one thing. Circulars are only meant to be thrashed. Because circular is not the law. The law is the law, this is the definition, that is the law. The interpretation by Supreme Court is the law. A circular is the department view of the law. It is not at all required to apply departmental circular unless it is in your favor. That's why I said circulars are to be thrashed. Either you throw it in the dustbin or use it effectively. Even though you know the law, even though you have Supreme Court judgment, when you go before the assessing officer, adjudicating officer, circular is having much more importance. So if you can show that your transaction comes under circular, you will get relief. Even though under the law you should not get relief. Because he doesn't go beyond the circular. So sometimes circular is useful to us to the extent it is beneficial, we can use it. If it is not beneficial, we don't use it.
But
We
then
can go and challenge the circular itself.
That will get only in the court. The benefit.
Yes. But at the stage of your initial stage itself, please don't think you will get it only in court. It's an incorrect thought of yours. Commissioner Appeals is a quasi-judicial authority on whom no circular is binding. The tribunal, where you get in at least service tax, in the tribunal you get 90% relief. Is it the same here also?
So more or less.
Yeah. Tribunal is quite fair. You get 90% relief and they will not consider the circular. So you don't say you will get it at court. If I don't want the circular to be there at all, then I can go to the court and say this circular goes beyond its jurisdiction and I want it quashed. Very few people go for that because nobody wants to do social service. Who is going to fight this case like that? Nobody likes to go to court for that. In case the circular is not got, then you become liable. I understand. So nobody goes for that. When I say nobody, again 90%. Okay, whatever I tell you today, you can expect 90% of it to be to the best of my knowledge and belief. 10% I have reservations on anything I say, and you all also can have the same. So it should not amount to that. Now let me come to the next question. We have decided that he is supposed to charge me service tax. We have agreed. When he gave the land, on the day when we entered into joint development, what did it say? On this day, I am handing over 10 acres to Madhukar Ilegange for, and in return he is supposed to give me 60% of the built property. This is what he says, and next is, on what value? There is no value, no? Where is the value? Next question is, on what value should he pay?
The value will be the sales value which we have effected with other customers.
I have not even built it, sir. He has just given me. Today we have entered into agreement. So he has to pay tax today or day after tomorrow? Do you pay service tax on the day you provide the service or after some 10 years? I am asking you. We are still with him. Sir gave me 10 acres of land. I want to know what you are going to charge now. How much you are going to tell him you have to pay service tax. He has come to you. Joint development agreement dated 25th of April 2015 he has given you, which says that he is going to give this land to me. That's all is there. 60% of built area I have to give you. Any idea?
Value of a similar property.
Market value you are saying. Okay.
No stamp duty value.
Guidance value.
Guidance.
When he gives it, sir is a chartered accountant, he has done well in his life. 10 acres in Kolkata is quite a lot of money. I hope you have also, sir. He is saying yes, maybe he has 100 acres. So, when he is giving it to me, will he give it to me with all the plan sanctions and all that? He may even give me agricultural land. Ancestral agricultural land. Now I have to get it converted. I have to get all the plan sanctions, because without plan sanction I can't even start putting one spade into the ground. Correct? Sir, whatever, don't feel bad. I will try and tell something against each person who says, so that everybody learns something. So he said, we'll go for market value of land. Now you tell me whether you'll go for market value of land. That land, is it comparable to his land? His ancestral property. He has given me the land. So what is the value I should take for his transaction?
It has to be specified, that's all.
Pardon?
It has to be specified.
No, he is not specified, I have not specified. Now government has come and you want to pay the tax. You don't want to evade the tax. It has not been specified. What sir says is correct. If you have specified, maybe you have some better defense.
Otherwise there is no scope of valuation.
Pardon?
There is no scope of valuation actually. Market price is a rake.
Yes. So I am asking, this is a real situation, no? We are facing these sort of things every day.
And the guidance value government declares for each locality.
Okay, he says guidance value. Can I take guidance value at that time? Agricultural land, there is a guidance value given. Can I take guidance value? In Karnataka, in many places we have guidance value which is in Bangalore, in and around Bangalore, you have guidance value which is 8,000, but the property is available at 5,000.
Cost of construction of that 60%?
He says cost of construction of 60%. Sir, no builder will ever come to you. Landlord, forget, builder itself will not come to you. He has told a very safe option as a chartered accountant. No tax authority will ever bother you. But if tax authorities are not going to bother, then nobody will come to us also. That's a very safe and 100% correct option if we don't want any litigation. So the answer is in an amalgam of all this. I would go, if it is agricultural land and it's ancestral property, then I would go with guidance value. If it is not so, if it is converted property, anyway it's not going to make much difference, then to avoid any litigation and avoid any problem with department, I would go with sir's market value. Other than that value, I have no other value. There are possibly some other legal defenses in this. He will not raise an invoice on me. Under service tax, when is service tax applicable under point of taxation rules? Whenever a service is provided and whenever you receive the money or whenever you raise an invoice. Three things are there. Now he has given his land to me today, but is he going to take it away tomorrow? Or he will allow me to complete the building? It's a continuous service. So can I say, his provision of service is not complete, therefore I won't pay him now at all. He doesn't have to be liable. He has not raised any invoice on me, therefore there is no liability. I have not given him any money. Consideration, even the built area which sir is talking about, I have not given him, I am going to give it in future. Can I avoid it? Answer to all three questions is yes. So you have a facility. You want to take guidance value, you want to take market value, you can do it. Now tell me, when I should bill him back? As per the joint development agreement, he is giving me 10 acres and he is on the guidance value, he says okay, guidance value per acre here is 1 crore. On 10 crores he pays the 12.36 or 12% he pays. What I am giving him back is constructed property, right? I am going to give him over the next 5 years. But what does the service tax law say? Service provided or agreed to be provided. Have I agreed to providing that service of constructed plot? Can I bill him back on the same day on the same value? Can I bill him back? I am the builder, he is the landlord. Can I bill him back on the same value but not the same rate? I will bill only on 40%.
No, agreed to be provided, you cannot bill on the basis of agreed to be provided. After service is rendered, then only you can...
Sir, sorry, service tax law is very clear. The moment you agree to provide a service, you are supposed to pay the service tax.
Yeah, the problem is you don't have a valuation, you don't have a price. Because you don't
No, I have got his price.
Yeah, but
We have already arrived at his price.
Yeah.
Whether it is guidance value or market value, we have arrived at his price. I already have the price. He is giving me land worth 10 crores. I am giving him service worth 10 crores only, no? Can I give him service more than that or less than that? I have already got, first we arrived, that's why I first arrived at his value. His value and first his taxability, then his value. So 10 crores on that he has paid service tax. I will pay service tax on 10 crores, but since I am constructing property for him and transferring property, I will pay only on 40%. 5% I will pay him back.